Okay. Call this meeting of Calaveras Council of Governments to order at 5:30 on April 5th. Can we all stand for the pledge? Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I should leave my chair. Do we have to do a roll call? No? Okay. Item number 1, motion to approve member request to participate remotely due to emergency circumstances pursuant to Government Code Section 54953 F2A.
I would hand it over to Monica. We don't have anyone that's going to be participating or as requested. Thank you. We don't have anyone participating online, so.
So it's,
That's sunset at the end of February for the most part.
Well,
That's due to emergencies.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
go ahead, Monica, it's all you. Good evening.
So good evening, members of the council. Nice to see you. So this item is acting as a placeholder on the agenda should you have anybody who needs to participate remotely for emergency circumstances. This is one of the new remote participation options that came into effect for Assembly Bill 2449. Now that AB 361, which we had used throughout the pandemic, has essentially become not available to us due to the end of the COVID state of emergency. And the reason it's acting as a placeholder is because participation for emergency circumstances requires approval by the board, whereas participation for just cause does not require approval. If this creates any sort of confusion or you think that it's best not to have the placeholder, we can remove it on future agendas, but that's why we have it there, so that we don't have to go through the procedural steps of adding an item to the agenda after the agenda is posted, should a member need to use this option to participate remotely.
Thank you, Monica. Okay, since we have nobody using that, then I guess we move on to the next item, which would be consent agenda. Is there any member of staff, council, or public that wants to pull anything from the consent agenda? If not, I would look for a motion to approve consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay. If nobody remote, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody disapprove, same sign? 2, 4, 5. 6, 0. Okay, next will be item number 5, public comment. 5 minutes per person. Comment shall be limited to items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council and not on the posted agenda. Government Code Section 54954.3. Is there any public comment at this moment? Nothing online? Okay. I will close public comment and move on to item number 6, Caltrans report. Is Marlon or?
Mr. Chair.
Good evening, Marlon.
Good evening, board members, Madam Director. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. I will be brief with a couple of Caltrans updates for the board tonight. First of all, I want to start by saying, well, of course, we always have our funding opportunities, but I will mention again some of the work that our maintenance team has been doing up in the Foothill County, specifically Calaveras, Mariposa, Tuolumne, and Alpine counties, and also Amador with the storm response. And fortunately, we are getting a little bit of a break in the weather. I know we have a little bit of weather coming up soon, but for the most part, our maintenance team has been pretty busy with clearing debris and also any additional flooding that's been occurring in areas of the district. So please, again, be safe and be work zone aware if you see our maintenance team out and about on the roadways. That is definitely a message that we're always trying to make sure our partners are continuing to be mindful of, so we appreciate your coordination on that. I do also want to mention we do have some funding opportunities available, and we also have item which I think will be relevant, well, somewhat relevant, but anyhow, our Caltrans State Rail Plan will be finalized in the next couple of months, probably in the summertime, I'm imagining, but the draft state rail plan is now up on our Caltrans website for review. So we'd like to invite any of our partners and general public to view this document. This is something that aligns with our transportation investment strategies outlined in our California Transportation Plan 2050. So this rail plan does focus on short, medium, and long-term improvements for our rail transportation system, and that's something that Caltrans is very much engaged in, and we are very much planning to coordinate with our partners on any needs, not just for rail, but other transit opportunities as well. So I want to share that with the board. I can put the link in the chat, but it is also on our website. And we are having a 60-day comment period on that. So we would like to ask for comments by May 10th of this year, which is obviously about a month and 5 days from now. So we also are having a public workshop regarding our Caltrans State Rail Plan. This will be on April 19th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I will put the rail plan website in the chat so you all can access that website. So just wanted to share that. And the comments will go to railplan@dot.ca.gov if you have any comments. Regarding funding opportunities, I did want to give another mention for our Clean California Local Grant Program. This program is our second cycle of the program where there's $500 million available for potential applicants, and we do have another, actually the workshop was last week, but we do have a recording on our website, so I encourage everyone to check our website to see the previous workshop items that were discussed and also the minutes from that. And just so you guys know, April 28th is the last day for applicants for the Clean California Local Grant Program Cycle 2. We do have another federal funding opportunity from the Department of Transportation, and this is for charging and fueling infrastructure grant program, specifically for electrical vehicle charging and other alternative fuel charging infrastructure. Federal government is funding up to $700 million, and the deadline for that is May 30th of this year. So if you're interested, we can also pass along this information as well. This is on our FHWA website and also the federal grants.gov website. Lastly, I do want to mention the also Federal Department of Transportation Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program, another call for applications. And this is really to prevent death and serious injuries on roads and streets involving all roadway users, pedestrians, bicyclists, and the like. There's $1.2 billion available with this program. Cities, local governments, county governments, tribal organizations are eligible to apply for this as well, and the deadline is July 10th. And we are soliciting any letters of support for this program as well as the charging and fueling infrastructure grant program. So if you're interested in a letter of support, we'll be happy to consider that for you. Last thing I would like to mention, regarding our overall work program, we appreciate the county's coordination. Obviously, Madam Director, we appreciate your coordination, your team as well. We will be awaiting the Q3 request for reimbursement. So please work with Gregoria on that. We don't have any current traffic advisories in the county, and I don't believe we have any immediate work that's going on the roadways in Palo Verde County. So nothing to report on that end. But I do also just lastly want to mention As I mentioned previously, we are very much focused on our transit policy. We are planning to release a transit policy later on this year after the rail plan is released. As we move forward, I'll be able to share more on that once we receive further guidance from headquarters. But there's a lot going on, and we appreciate all the coordination from the board, the COG, and the county as well. So that concludes my comments for today, my updates. I'm happy to take any questions, and thanks again for the time.
Thank you, Marlon. Any council questions or comments from Marlon? Okay. I think you got them all. Everything's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marlon.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, so item number 6. Item number 7, county and city reports. Oh, sorry, I turned it off. Thanks, Susan. Keeping me honest. Number 7, county and city reports.
Good afternoon. The county crews are still trying to do some final cleanup as a result of these storms. We still get a little bit of snow, I understand. And we still get the calls. We just had a tree, I understand, today on Mountain Ranch that was caught on the wires. We had to close the road to take care of that. So there's still cleanup work that needs to happen, but we're moving on to the other projects. So, as far as the big one, Wagon Trail, it's like a sleeping giant. It's got to wake up now, and they're slowly waking up. But one of the things that we're trying to do, our engineering team is looking at some options for design right at the shoe fly where it connects to the old Highway 4. They're looking at some options there. And at the entrance, that hasn't been improved yet, in order to reduce some of the costs on that project. We're having quite a bit of communications with Caltrans and others to work on closing the gaps that we find in the funding. And as we've discussed in the past, a large portion of those gaps are due to the archaeological artifacts that have been found within that area. We also have due to the archaeological artifacts, there's a wall that has to be built, and that's been designed, but they're working out details such as where are they going to get the backfill from. They can't use native soil that's already available there, so forth and so on. Those are the details of construction that go on. Valley Springs Safety Improvement Project, our consulting engineer continues to work on the plans. They have a pretty good set of plans now. They're trying to get some details in regards to the right-of-way monumentation that's out there. They have to preserve the monumentation by law so that when the contractor comes in and some of that's obliterated, that has to be replaced. So they're working on that. Our ATP project is pretty much underway. We're at the very beginning stages. I think within the next month or so, Caltrans requires us to start submitting reports, so we'll be submitting the reports. They won't have too much to say because funding was just awarded, but we're in that routine of providing those the reports for to Caltrans. That's all that I have right now. Any questions?
Any council member, anybody have any questions for Robert? Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert.
You're up.
I don't have anything. Today was,
You got anything for the city? Nothing?
I'm just happy to be here today. And it's a good day. The sun's out, and I'm happy to see your face, Gary. That's all I got for today, buddy.
Thank you, Al. Good report.
I'm sorry, but I just.
I'll second that.
Okay, item number 8, citizen member alternative appointment process. Melissa, you're up first, I think, on it.
Yep, thank you, Vice Chair Brolio. Staff recommends the council hear from the interested citizen member alternate applicant. His name is Mr. Bruce Miller. He is here in attendance, and I'd like to hand it over to the Vice Chair to invite Mr. Miller up to the podium.
Good evening, Bruce. Come on up and tell us a little bit about yourself, it sounds like. Brief presentation of your interests and qualifications. Thank you.
Sure. Howdy. I serve on the board of the Murphy Sanitary District. I'm the treasurer there. I'm in the finance committee. I'm joining the Murphy's library board. I'll be on the finance committee there as well. I have a technical background. I do web design and development and hosting now. I have some time on my hands. I'm sort of tuning my business down towards retirement, and I'd like to get involved in some public service. This seemed like a good opportunity.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
I don't know, so I was gonna say, do you have any board members have any questions for Bruce, or? Well, I think we can all ask questions, just to vote, I think the vote will only be the three of us, if I remember right.
That's correct.
No, I don't have any questions, I'm just excited that you want to join and help your community, and I think that's great.
Great.
So,
Thank
anybody
you.
else?
I have all kinds of questions.
All right, I do have one question. I do have one question.
Sure.
How well do you know Marita?
Not well at all.
Okay.
I know her by sight.
Then you got his vote.
We're off on the right foot.
Yeah.
You know, what's your interest in public service, and you know, especially when it comes to roads, and you know, our infrastructure going into Calaveras County.
Well, I'm a citizen and I live right off of Highway 4, so you know, this impacts me directly. I think there's a tendency to assume that all this stuff just happens without anybody doing anything to make it happen. My board experience, both in private sector and public sector, has been, I don't know how to say this politely, but sometimes these boards are just rubber stamps and nobody asks questions. And sometimes these boards are very engaged and people, you know, really care. Participating in the board is the best way to ensure that the board's making good decisions.
Very good, thank you.
Bruce, I will say this, you will find this board is very engaged, all of us are very engaged. So it's a
Excellent.
very good board, and I've sat on it for a long time, along with most of the people here. And yes, this board is engaged, so.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm only an alternate, so I'm replacing one of the members that's out, and just my understanding, every one of these people here are very engaged, and they'll be, if the decision is that you're on this board, great people to work with, and everything else, so.
Good.
Okay. Any other questions before we go to, I assume, make a motion?
I would just like to let the council know this would be for a 2-year term, and it would expire December 31st, 2024.
I'll move that we make Bruce the alternate public member for Calaveras County.
I will second that motion. And only the three of us can vote on this one, so all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed, same sign? 3-0. You're in, Bruce, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Bruce.
I look forward to working with
I want to
you.
make a comment. I did notice on here that you said that you weren't a resident of either of the districts. We had supervisors on. What district are you in?
I'm in, I believe it's District 3, it's the Highway 4 corridor.
Murphy's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that there was any conflict with supervisors. I think there's a conflict with the citizen members. So I think
Mr. Vice Chair.
being that we elected you, you're still gonna have to go in front of the Board of Supervisors for the final. But I could be mistaken on that.
No,
Yeah.
this is the same alternate that we had, Krista Dodd.
Krista Dodd was same area.
district, and because he's the alternate, he will just be filling in. He's not a permanent appointment to the board.
Right.
Okay, so then back in 2014,
You,
how was that different? I was going for the alternate.
No.
no, you wanted to sit on the actual board.
Originally, though, it was for the alternate.
Okay, I don't
But,
remember
okay,
that.
I'm glad, regardless, I just wanted to make you aware of that, and I'm glad that you're interested in this, and I like the background that you have, especially that we are going to the electric fleet, and you stated that you have interest in that, which is excellent, because it's kind of, it's mandated essentially for the state of California.
Great. Yeah, actually, if anybody cares, what really prompted my interest in this particular board is MSD wants to take some of their plant space, which they aren't using, and turn it into a mini park and put an electric vehicle charging station there. And I started looking as a board member into what would be involved in making that happen, and it's going to touch on this department's decisions, and that's what prompted me to first look here.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Sure. All right. Moving on to item number 9 is the unmet transit needs public hearing. So at this point, if there's anybody out there,
You need to open.
I'm going to open up the public hearing of the unmet transit needs, and we'll look for anybody to make a comment. Nothing online? Okay, going once, going twice. We've now accepted any public comment, and I will close the public hearing. So moving on from 9 to 10, a minute order accepting the zero emissions bus ZEB rollout and implementation plan for Calaveras Transit Agency. And I'm assuming it's Melissa. Oh, it's Aaron? Sorry, my bad.
This is Aaron's thing.
I,
And we have a surprise in the parking lot.
we do.
Finally, 2 years later.
Not quite.
I'm trying to flip way too much.
There
There we go.
Okay, so as the board is aware, staff began working with a consultant in August of 2021 on a zero emissions bus implementation and rollout plan. The existing conditions report were presented to the board on the May 4th, 2022 meeting, and the draft ZEB implementation and rollout plan was presented at the February 1st, 2023 meeting. The 30-day public comment period ended on March 9th, at which point the consultant incorporated all received comments into the final ZEB implementation and rollout plan that you find attached in your packet, which is due to CARB by July 1st of 2023. Staff recommends the council accept the final zero emissions bus implementation and rollout plan for the Calaveras Transit Agency. And I'm available.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Aaron? Any questions of them?
It's incorporated, I saw. I want to thank you for incorporating your efforts to incorporate what I said when it was brought up back in February. Thank you.
Any public comment out there? Anything online, Aaron? Okay. I would look for an approval to accept the zero emission bus rollout, ZEB.
I'll move this item, Mr. Chair.
Second?
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody disapprove, same sign? 6-0. Okay, next is number 11, council reports. We'll start down at the end.
I have nothing to report.
Nothing to report.
Miss Pat?
Nothing to report,
Gary?
always.
I have nothing to report at this time. Maybe CTA.
Mr. Stopper?
Nothing to report.
All right, I have nothing to report at this moment either. Staff report. Aaron?
I have nothing to add from my included report in the packet.
Ms. Radley?
I have nothing to add. Thank
Okay.
you.
At this moment then, I would go to item number 13, adjournment. And I think we're gonna take a break, and we'd all love everybody to go outside, and we're gonna check out the new electric vehicle and the wrap and everything else. Aaron, lead the way.
Aaron.
Okay, it is 6:15, so we will now reconvene as Calaveras Transit Agency, and I will call this meeting to order. Number one, approve the member request to participate remotely due to emergency circumstances. We have nobody doing that this evening, so we will move on from that. I would like to move item number 2, the closed session, to the end of the meeting, unless there's anybody that has a problem with that. Okay. We will amend the agenda then to do that. Do I have to take a vote on
No,
that?
I was going to ask Monica.
We don't need to vote on it,
No?
no.
No.
Okay, I see your head shaking. Thanks, Monica.
You're chair, you can move it without.
Yeah.
All right, we moved closed session to the
Chair's
end.
prerogative.
We'll go to consent agenda. Consent agenda items are expected to be routine, non-controversial, and will be acted upon by the council at one time without discussion. Any council member, staff member, interested party may request that item be removed from the consent agenda for further discussion. Is there anybody who'd like to pull something off consent? Going once, going twice. Anybody like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody disapprove, same sign. Okay, we will now move on to regular agenda, item number 9, public comment, 5 minutes per person. Comments shall be limited to items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council and not on the posted agenda. Anybody have any public comment?
There's no public online.
Okay, I will close public comments. And she's not back in here yet.
She's on
so-
her way.
Oh, is she right now? Okay. Well, then we'll hold for 1 second. We'll bombard her right as she walks in.
You're up, Cindy.
Unless you would like to wait a second, you're up. We're moving right through this meeting.
Well, all right.
Well, I really don't have a whole lot to add, but I did want to update you on the numbers.
Perry, it's about a week early.
Well, all right. Greetings again. So on our fixed route, the numbers changed a bit. 2305 is the newest number, so it's up quite a bit. West Point is 29. Community service evacuation and warning centers are still at 0, and Saturday Hopper remains the same. We had a really nice turnout for Irish Days. It's always fun. They're always fun groups when it's the events. And so we're looking forward to the next one. But anyways, our evacuation services, it's the same. It's been busy. But it's calming down, which is nice. We didn't have to worry about evacuating Barney Way. It was close. We went up and they decided not to leave, the 3 households. But they were really concerned about the residents over there. And so we stood by and waited, and luckily nothing came of it. They got the area secured. I don't know if you were part of any of that, the meetings, but they actually dug trenches above and put like Visclean, really heavy-duty Visclean and sandbags, trying to preserve the hillside as much as possible because it took out 2 roads. There was one area that looked really bad. So it was a potentially dangerous situation, but they took care of it. Anyways, that's all I really had, and we're excited about our bus. All right, anything?
Any questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
When it does snow, who cleans the bus stops?
Say again?
Who cleans the bus stops when it snows?
Nobody cleans the bus stops.
Okay.
Yeah, where you have the biggest challenges are like in Arnold. They plow and then our bus stop becomes a snowbird. So, and we can't make it down some of those areas anyways because of the streets and whatnot. So we have to do an alternate stop. Usually Big Trees is pretty good, but they do the same. They'll plow their parking lot. And I think it was, gosh, this has been years ago, but we talked about putting a bus stop in the parking lot for Big Trees. And where they wanted to put it, it probably would have been under snow again because they plow their parking lot and they always plow it right up to the bus stop, so.
That's a good point. So take a note. We want to look for funding from Caltrans for electric, to put electric bus stops, electrify our bus stops so they can warm and melt the snow. So.
I thought you were gonna go with a snow, one of those snow machines. Send the maintenance guy up there and plow that area for us.
So electrify it, so, and then PG&E will probably cut the power anyway, so.
Yeah.
Well, one of the stops
Thank you,
that
sir.
she has, that's on that new grid. It's on the new mini grid. It's right in between the post office and the fire station. So,
Item number 11 is what we'll move on to next, staff reports. Aaron,
I have nothing.
Melissa. Check and check. Okay, so at this moment then, we will adjourn to closed session. So we'll take a minute.